And like some of these other guys listening, they don't listen quite as well as they need to.
I just wanted it noted that it's your guys.
Yeah. Doug, where you at? Yeah, so look, I thought another good practice. Took the shoulder pads off, shells on today. We'll be back in full pads again tomorrow. But I thought we got a lot accomplished. We worked 2 minute today. Today was 2 minute at the end of the first half. I thought a lot of really good situations came up there. There'll be a lot of good stuff for us to teach off of. And so, look, we just keep coming out here, grinding away, and keep trying to get a little bit better every day. I think we're doing that.
They get a pretty spirited finish in the 2 minute. What do you think about the offensive execution?
Yeah, look, I thought overall, the offensive execution was pretty good. We were able to get a couple of touchdowns, offensively at the end of the first half. And again, there's a lot that goes into that. It's not just about going and scoring touchdowns. It's trying to, manage the game too. So I thought offensively we did, we did some good things, and yet I think there's some things that we've got to teach off of there that could have negated our ability to score points in that situation. So, but yeah, I thought overall, offensively, I thought we executed pretty well in those situations.
And then
Derek
10 practices
seems
in,
good in that. I'm sorry.
10 practices in, what would you say you kind of learned about this team? I know it's early.
Well, look, I think we're still building what this team is going to be, but I do think that this team is going to be, and we're going to have a tough, smart, competitive football team. I think that's evident. I think our guys that are out here and they're competing. I think competing at a high level. They're pushing through the dog days of camp, and I think those things are going to pay benefits to us somewhere down the line. So that's what I'd say I noticed out of our group.
Derek seemed sharp in that 2 minute. How'd you feel like he did?
Yeah, I thought he did well. I mean, look, if the offense does well, usually that means your quarterback's operating at a pretty high level, right? I mean, it's a 2 minute drill. So yeah, I thought he handled the situations pretty well. I thought he operated well, and I think, the key for that is having everybody be on the same page with what we're doing, and so in that regard, I thought it was positive.
What you like how
Somebody don't feel flags over the day. Just kind of
Still couldn't hear you.
flags.
Yeah. Look, I mean, that's why these guys are out here. I think we had 3 false start penalties, and so, those things are costly, and so we've got to, if we're going to utilize the snap count, then we have to be able to utilize the snap count. That means everybody's got to be disciplined and sit in there and not move until the ball moves. But a holding call on the on screenplay in the 2 minute, so which put us back at 1st and 20. We were able to overcome it, but a lot of times those are killers on a drive, and in particular when you're talking about the end of the first half, when it's 1st and 20 and we're obviously trying to score points, but we're also not trying to give the ball back to our opponent. That becomes a more challenging thing. So the good news is we instructed the officials to put the flag on the field if they see it, so that when we go back in and we watch the tape, everybody sees the flag, everybody knows what the call was, and we get to evaluate, and the officials are in these meetings with us, and we get to see and hear what they saw, why they called it, and then sometimes there's some communication that they say, probably should have let that one go. So, but that's good to have that back and forth communication with the officials. We'll have those guys, not the same crew, but we'll have officials back out here again when we practice against the 49ers. So that'll be good.
What do you like out of Shamar Charles?
Well, look, he's out here competing every day. He's done some things from a special team standpoint to catch our eye, and so I think he's one of these guys that's battling for a roster spot, and and battling, whether that be a roster spot on the 53, it'd be on the practice squad. I think that's where he's at, and I think these preseason games will go a long way into, kind of dictating where that's at.
Would you say that the offense, the understanding of the offense is where you hoped it would be 10 practices in? Are you happy with where that, sort of installation development is?
Yeah, and I don't, happy's probably the right word. Satisfied would not be the right word. I think we're always pushing and striving to be better than we are right now, and I think we've got to keep pushing the envelope. I think we can't ever, kind of settle and feel like we've got it. I think we've got to keep pressing the envelope, and once we feel like our guys have a pretty good grasp of what's going on, all right, well, how do we push them a little bit further? How do we put something else on their plate? I want to see exactly how much they can handle. This is the time to find that stuff out. And so I think our offensive staff has done a good job of that. I think, each and every day we've got a new little wrinkle, a new formation, a new motion, a new play. I think I'm encouraged by, the progress that we're making, and yet not satisfied yet with where we're at.
This could be a false impression, but it seems like you guys are getting more work and practicing longer. Is that accurate, maybe, from back home to here? Have you guys been able to do a little bit more?
Yeah, I'd say that's probably, an accurate statement, in that, back home it's a little bit more challenging when you're having to deal with the heat and the humidity. It makes it a lot more difficult. Guys are, instead of focusing on trying to get better at football, a lot of times they're a little bit in survival mode. And so because of the weather here, I do feel like we've been able to push them a little bit harder for a little bit longer. I wouldn't say it's, leaps and bounds above what, from a volume. But I think our work's been more efficient out here. I think we've been much more efficient with what we've been able to get accomplished, in the time frame that we're allotted, via the CBA rules. So, I think we're getting a lot accomplished.
Is that like an advantage, especially when you are putting in like a new system? You can get maybe a couple extra periods, or maybe work a little bit faster, or not take as many.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think every rep counts, and so I think, in particular when you're putting in a new offense and you got a lot of new pieces, a lot of new coaches, some new players, a new scheme, being able to get more volume and more reps, allows guys to get a little bit more comfortable with what they're being asked to do. And so, I think that's certainly beneficial, and in particular for the offense and the new guys that we have.
We didn't see Pete Warner, Peyton Turner, and Nathan Shepard.
All those guys, Pete Warner's got a shoulder, Peyton Turner toe, and Nate Shepard toe.
Are you concerned about a player like DeMario missing extended time?
No. We've had conversations about, look, we got some guys that were in, what was this, practice 9, I think it was, 10 today. I lose count. So I just know today was the day after yesterday and the day before tomorrow. And that's really about what you know when you're in training camp. But guys like DeMario, no, I'm not overly concerned. And I'd be honest with you and say that that DeMario's situation is probably a lot more precautionary on our part, being that we are in training camp. Knowing DeMario, if we were getting ready for a regular season game, I don't think that we'd be missing him out here. So I think part of that's us. And look, I think we've got to judge that based on who the player is. A young player that, is dealing with, some soft tissue discomfort or issue. Those guys really can't afford to miss a lot of time. A guy like DeMario who's proven time and time again that he can go out and function at a high level, and he's functioned at a high level, a lot of times, with things like he has right now. And so that's a long-winded answer to say that, no, I'm not concerned about that.
Would a guy like Nick Saldiveri fit the bill of what you said, like a younger
Nick
guy?
Saldiveri would be one of these young players that's trying to make the team, that's trying to prove that he belongs. And so the missed time with a guy like that is critical missed time in his development, And so every day that he misses is a day that he gets, further and further behind. And I would have hit him, but that's just the truth of it, you know what I mean? And so, but it is what it is. And so we've got to be able to, change course and reevaluate where we're at.
When are you going to start looking at the first preseason game as far as game plan, who you're playing, how much?
Yeah, that'll be sometime, during this week. We're probably not going to divulge any information in terms of who's playing or when they're playing, so we'll kind of keep that in-house. But we'll have a squad out there, but we'll probably start looking at them. Coaches probably sooner in the week, players not till the end.
Just from a concept perspective, with the new offense, is there a little bit more value in those preseason reps this year than there might be in the more established offense?
Yeah, we'll see. Look, we're getting a lot of good work out here, and we'll see how much, who plays and how much they play and when they play. I think we'll handle that as a coaching staff.
Peyton Turner's toe, is that the same issue you was dealing with last year?
I believe it's the same toe. Again, I'm not going to get into severities or anything I'm not concerned about it right now. And so we'll see how he responds to the treatment. Hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later.
Dennis, other guys who weren't in team drills, Taysom Hill, Tyrann Matthew, Paulson, Avivo, Oliudo, were those all scheduled?
The only one that is injury related is a Debo, and he came out here and tried to go. He's got a little bit of groin tightness, so we held him today. The other guys are either vet days or, in Oli's case, a guy that's coming off an injury and part of our management plan for him.
Mason Tippin was a guy that has showed out a lot early. How do you think he's progressed now that the pads have come on?
Yeah, look, I think he's still doing some good things. And I'm certainly not ready to put him in the Hall of Fame yet. But he is a guy that we've certainly noticed and has done some good things. And we'll put him in some preseason games and see how he reacts in those situations. And so I think every day out here, for all these guys, but in particular the undrafted free agents, every day is a valuable day. Every day is an important day. And so these guys that come out here and do something each and every day that grab the attention of the coaching staff and personnel and those people that are doing the evaluating, that benefits these players. So, and he's a guy that's been able to do that. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dennis.
You good? How are you physically? You back to 100%? You good?
Yeah. Pretty close.
Was the foot injury also what kind of kept you out a little bit during mini camps and some of that too, or was that a different?
That was something else. Yeah. Yep.
Bryan, what's kind of been your impression of like this pass rush you all kind of put together, adding Chase to the mix, and what you all been able to do with that?
Yeah, everyone's definitely taken a lot of time this offseason, and we've gotten time to work together and just talk through stuff and figure stuff out together as a unit, and I think that's really helped us. And then adding Chase, he's a all around just player who can do everything. So watching him work and all the other guys this camp has been really, really cool.
What are your impressions of Chase? Like, what do you see when he's lined up?
He's a big guy. He's definitely a massive human who can move well. He's physical. He has a good sense of O-linemen, where they're setting on him. He has good hands. He's just all around player. He's been really, really solid in every aspect.
What are you trying to do year two? Like, what are the things, if you achieve them, like that's a successful year?
Yeah, I mean, I think all this kind of just stems from the team. I want to win playoff games. I want to win Super Bowl. I want to do all those things with these guys. So, that's really the main thing on my mind. So yeah.
But like personally though, like is it run game? Like
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I definitely, I've gotten some time this offseason to watch tape, and it's definitely slowing down for me this year to last year. Taking a lot more in last year. It's a whole new game from college to the NFL, and so yeah, I've definitely worked on my run game. That was something that I put a lot of focus on, even now in the camp. So, working with BY, TG, all those guys, it's been good.
What do you need to do better in that area?
Yeah, I mean, I think I needed to understand offenses better. I needed to get my footwork right, hand placement. There was a lot of stuff that just kind of combined together, and I've gotten a lot of time to work on it. So it's definitely improved a lot even from last year to camp now.
But do you feel it's slowing down for you right now?
Absolutely, yeah.
Does your height work against you sometimes in the run game? Like if you kind of had to, not a lot of 6'5" D tackles.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just needed to learn leverage better, and that's something that also use my length to my advantage. There are plenty of guys that are, taller that do a really good job at that I've gotten to watch, and so yeah, I mean, just trying to work on my pad level, hand placement, first step, all that kind of stuff coming out of my hips. There was a ton of things that kind of just combined together, and I've gotten some time to work on it. So.
Who are some of the guys that who are some of the kind of bigger?
Yeah, I mean, Fletcher Cox is a guy who's a massive human does a pretty good job on the run. Chris Jones is a bigger guy who can, stop the run. So there's those guys, and then even just guys on this team. Shep does a good job coming out of his hips and playing the run well, and so just been able to watch a lot of tape and watch people.
Has there been a little bit more focus or emphasis on the pass rush kind of group in terms of we've seen a lot of NASCAR, we've seen a lot of Cam inside, we've seen, I think Peyton shifted inside. Is that something that has been a little bit more, I don't want to say creative, but emphasized?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we're just trying to see what the best thing is. Trying people in different spots. You obviously want the best rushers out on the field. So whatever that is, wherever people are rushing from, I think we're just trying a bunch of different things and seeing how they work. So.
How, as an interior guy, like when the edge rush is effective, like how much does that help you? How many more opportunities get created? Yeah, I mean, having those guys, when we're rushing as a D-line, everyone's kind of working together, and unless there's a clean beat, which it doesn't happen super often, it's everyone working together. It's the interior guys collapsing the pocket, it's the outside guys keeping contained, so it's just everybody working together. So however that is, whoever it is, that's what it comes down to.
And just from your perspective, going up against this offense, what's kind of the most challenging part from your side of things?
Yeah, I mean, they do a good job of keeping guys guessing. They run the ball. It's a lot more outside stuff. They have a lot of motions that they're doing that are tricky on a defense, and it just they're mixing a lot of things up. So different blocking techniques, obviously, than last year that are good for us to look at and feel. So but they seem to be clicking over there.
Fair to say they kind of get you guys on the move a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Bryan. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Brian. Good, man.
All right, guys. Are you good?
What's going on, Jordan?
How you doing?
And Jordan, how would you say your camp is going so far?
It's been pretty well. You know, every day there's injuries and things happen, but you know, I just know you got to step up and fill that void and help where you can and help where the team needs you. So it's been going well so far, though.
I know this is a new offense and everything, but to have the experience being with the team for basically most if not all last year on the practice squad.
For sure.
Does that help when you get this kind of opportunity now?
Yeah, it helps a lot because you know the guys, that's on the team and you're pretty comfortable. The only thing that changed was the offensive staff, so it was kind of like a new adjustment for everyone on the offense. So nothing's really changed but, the staff, and I think, we've been doing a good job, learning this offense.
It feels like they've given you a lot of opportunity, a lot of good snaps, and that has just continued to grow.
Yes.
What from your perspective, has helped you earn those opportunities?
Being accountable and knowing what to do on the field. If you don't know what you're going to do, no matter how good you are or how effective you can help the team, you're not going to play. So I take pride in knowing what I have to do on every play, whether it's my play or not, and asking little questions here like, oh, did we talk about this, and if this happens we have this, or can we do this. So I think just being very communicative with your coach and being responsible.
What are your strengths in general as a runner, receiver, all that?
Yeah, I think I can do a little bit of everything. I can, run between the tackles. I can catch the ball, and I can, pass block as well. So whatever coach is asking, and I'll be able to deliver that.
And anything, I think all running backs kind of like this system, but anything in particular that fits well with this system, you think?
I think just getting the defense moving. We have a lot of, shifts and motions, and it kind of offsets, them and have them communicate a little more and get them uncomfortable. So I like that a lot.
What
How
sort
do you
of
feel Derek Foster has prepared you for in-game action with some of the unique things that he's been doing so far?
I'm just working on the basic things. You can never get tired with working, footwork drills and jump cuts. Like, we use those, not really thinking about it. You make a cut, our position is based off instinct. So I feel like, a lot of it's just the, basic stuff. Like I was saying, like the jump cuts, the one-cut plant, yeah.
what sort of run scheme did y'all use at Fresno?
I feel like we did a lot of the stuff that we run here, actually, whether it's me lined up and empty, me running a rail, me catching screens and stuff like that. So I'd say it's pretty much similar to, what we're doing now.
When you're in that kind of wide zone, what's kind of the most important aspect of your position? Like staying on track or
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you said, pressing, your point. Depending on what front you get, things change. But we want to sell. Our objective is to get the ball outside, and then you kind of read your keys, from there.
And do you feel like your experience in that offensive press kind of helps you with this? And yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. It helps a lot because it transition, pretty easy. Yeah.
You mentioned pass protection. Is that sort of a work in progress for you, or do you consider that a strength and something that's going to show out in the preseason?
For sure. I think you can never get bored and do anything with pass protection. You're going against great linebackers that have great moves and stuff like that. So we got to be prepared for anything. And I feel like you could just never be comfortable. You can always work at pass protection. So
Is that something you think can help make your case, though?
yes, definitely.
Yeah, Jordan, what has been your approach coming into this season? Obviously, you were at rookie minicamp. It's not a rookie, so
Yeah.
that was obviously a decision to,
sure.
to go to that. What has the commitment been like in terms of coming back for year two and trying to make a spot on this roster?
Yeah, just whatever coach need, and I know I can have a spot on this offense, and I know I can contribute wherever that may be, whether primarily special teams and then Mims get in here, there, and here and there. But I just know I can help us win in a way.
How do you balance that? Because obviously, yeah, you want to be as up to speed as you can in the offense, but also knowing, hey, if I make this roster, a lot of that's going to be on special teams.
For sure.
Is that tough to balance in terms of those responsibilities?
No, not at all. That's what comes with the game. You kind of have to be, prepared to, do both. Stay in that offensive playbook, but then be, focus on, when special teams comes around, you got to know what you're doing on special teams.
Is there an area of special teams that you would say is kind of your specialty?
Not really. Coach Riz is, throwing me at different spots. It might be, returning one day. It may be, taking run reps on kickoff, kick return. So he's just, kind of got me moving and seeing where he likes me, whether it's PP on punt and stuff like that. So just getting the feel and see, where he wants to play me.
Would you say that's maybe your strength overall, that you can sort of do everything? I mean, out of the backfield too. So, block, run, catch. Like is that sort of what you bring to the table, that you can do a little bit of everything?
Yes, definitely. I feel like, that's a big part of my game, being able, to catch out the backfield and then be able to still, run between the blocks and pass protection. I feel like, that goes a long way. Obviously, you want to be able to do multiple things and not be one-dimensional. So I think that's a strength of my game for sure.
Look, I'm sorry. Look, Dennis has had good things to say about you a couple of different times. Do you feel good about what you see on tape? Like when you go back and look at what you did that day, are you seeing things you like?
Yes, definitely. Shout out to the O-line that, give me those looks, and, without them, I wouldn't be able to do my job. But I think, having a great mindset coming into camp and, working on the little things, day by day, to fix that, or, to fix certain things, it goes a long way. And I think, it's helped so far.
Obviously, you know Jake better than a lot of people here, just from obviously time in present state. What have you seen from him in terms of growth from year one to year two, both at the quarterback position and also just kind of in the locker room?
Probably a better understanding of being a pro and at that quarterback position. I feel like the quarterback position is the hardest and one of the hardest positions to play, whether it's memorizing the play. Oh, we have a check here, we have to change the play here and there. So I think he's been doing a pretty great job of that and transitioning to that this year. So yeah.
When you watch Alvin, what do you see? Like from your perspective, what makes him who he is?
He's like So I remember coming into the NFL, like they ask you like who's your favorite players, and him and Christian McCaffrey were like always my my go-tos that I watched growing up or whatnot. But I feel like his ability to catch the ball, just kind of like how I said about myself and what I think I can do as well. He catches the ball well. He runs hard. And yeah, I mean his tape is his tape, and he's done a great job over the years that he's been playing. So that's a guy I look up to for sure.
Have there been some moments with Alvin that you saw him do something and just couldn't believe what you were saying?
There's times here and there. It's like whether it's a quick burst here and there, or he makes a great cut and stuff. But he's a great leader, and he always throwing pointers and helping me out. And I'm always asking questions. He's an open book.
Jordan, I apologize. I know I probably talked about this last year, but what was the timing when you were released and signed with the Saints? Did you have an opportunity to go back to Buffalo's practice squad too, or?
No, I didn't have the privilege to go back. So I think it was the day of cuts. I ended up getting cut that day, and then the Saints claimed me that following morning.
Okay.
Yes.
So, but will they claimed you for a while, or they put you right on the practice squad
For
initially?
The Saints?
Yeah.
Right to practice squad, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so you had opportunities to, but they were like, were there a lot of teams that
Well,
called, you chose them? Or?
Saints were, my only option after, Buffalo. So,
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah.
Obviously a no-brainer to,
Right,
that.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I didn't know if you had options.
Yeah,
that
no,
day you picked
it's all
them for a
good.
reason.
No worries.
Anything else? All right,
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you.